Pacifiers, the big debate. Well, I'm a speech therapist and I want to help you decide whether or not you should use a pacifier with your little one. I do not think these are the worst thing in the world. We use them with our son. I think they are a gift and we should, if we want to, go ahead and use that. That is okay. Now, I want to give you guys some guidelines. If you're breastfeeding, I recommend holding off until at least 3 to 4 months. This is my recommendation because it can actually help baby if they're just solely sucking from you, from your breast, to create a good feeding system and establish that before you're introducing another type of nipple here. So highly recommend holding off. But if you're not breastfeeding, jump right in. We gave my little one right from the get-go. These are the Advent ones. I love these. They are just really squishy and soft. So we've used these at every stage and now we're working on weaning. So why do I like pacifiers? Pacifiers can really be a great thing. They can prevent SIDS. So they prevent SIDS because your baby doesn't actually sleep as soundly when they have a pacifier in their mouth. So instead of having that deep, deep sleep, they may actually not wake up for a breathing pattern. If suffocation is a risk, the pacifier will help wake them up. It'll startle them a little more. So I do recommend it for that reason. Also, you can't always be feeding baby. So pacifiers are a great way to provide that sucking stimulation and really help them get that soothing need they need. They're great for self-soothing, so baby is able to comfort themselves with a pacifier. So I don't recommend using pacifier clips until your child is at least sitting unsupported. I say this because as a newborn, they're not able to roll over as much and they could get that cord and the string, even if it's 2 inches, caught around their neck or around their wrist and cut off circulation. So highly recommend waiting to do this. Now, I think you should definitely feel free to use pacifiers as you like up until about 6 months, with a goal of starting the weaning process at 6 months and being completely done with the pacifier by 12 to 18 months. Here's the reason why. There are some cons for long-term pacifier use. Not initial pacifier use, but long-term. So using that pacifier can cause ear infections. That sucking reflex, it goes hand in hand with the way your ears work. I'm not going to go into the whole anatomy with you, but it will cause ear infections. And recurring ear infections can actually cause hearing loss, which in turn, in fact, they will impact your baby's speech and language development. So that's a really big risk. Other than just hearing impairment, another risk is dentition. So the way that your child's mouth form. Their teeth are starting to come in, so their teeth and jaws can become misaligned. Their tongue can actually push forward, so it can cause the top teeth and the lower teeth to kind of form a circle, which is called an open bite, and the roof of the mouth can even misshape. So what this will do, as your child is starting to learn new sounds, it'll make them sound distorted and incorrect, so we really want to avoid long-term pacifier use. So big question, how do you stop baby from using the pacifier and how do you begin the stages of weaning? Weaning is a great thing to do starting around 6 months. We've been working with my son as well. We are not off the pacifier yet and he's almost 10 months old, but I do feel like we're making good efforts to move forward with our goal of 12 to 18 months. So at 6 months, I recommend limiting the use to nap and sleeping time. Or if your child is maybe having a really bad afternoon with teething, or you just need them to maybe just for a moment, you can give them that self-soothing, but limit the use. So don't leave that pacifier in their mouth. Maybe after they've fallen asleep, take it out. So there are a lot of ways to move forward with the pacifier without the pacifier. So when you want to start weaning more significantly, you can provide certain pacifiers to your child that you've cut a hole off the top. You can take the top and clip just this whole section here, or you can just puncture holes with a needle. What this does is it reduces the sucking satisfaction they're going to get. When they pull on it, they're actually going to get air in and it's not going to be the same. So I highly recommend cutting the tips off some of the pacifiers or puncturing them with needles. Of course, remove the needle, but this will help reduce that sucking satisfaction they're getting. Other things you can do are try to find things your child absolutely loves for redirecting, for self-soothing. I have found my son loves to clap, So if he gets very upset and starts to yell, instead of giving a pacifier, I will say, Mommy will clap with you. And then he will just sit there and clap. I try to work on ways to self-soothe. You can teach them to rub their ears or rub their neck or maybe even rub their hands together. There are a lot of different things you can teach them to self-soothe. Now, if you do teach them to rub their ears, really be careful of this because you want to make sure that's also a sign that maybe they're having an earache. So you're going to want to check their ears very frequently, clean their ears, and make sure that you're monitoring them so that you aren't missing an ear infection. You can always check for fevers. There are a lot of different things you can do. But work on other self-soothing tactics with your child. If self-soothing tactics aren't working and you're getting close to that 18-month mark, I recommend you taking a more involved role in helping them wean from the pacifier. So that could mean reading them a book, or maybe singing songs, playing a fun activity. Maybe you have a preferred toy. Also, these are great options. These are some age-appropriate teethers. What I love about these is this one is a rattle. You can hear it. This is really bendable and this is hard, so they provide a lot of different sensory input for your child. This one also has a rattle, but it's a movable wheel in here that they can't get out. Soft here, so different textures and touches, things that can bend. These are really great and safe. There's a lot of different options, and there's even some that came with this set. I think it's a set of 10 that I feel comfortable enough to put into my child's bed and let them have them while they sleep. He just kind of holds onto it or maybe even shakes it. So it's very soothing for him. Other ways you can help them go to sleep instead of just providing a pacifier, or maybe a nightlight, or maybe even we love to use a sound machine that provides a lot of input, and that can also help him with that auditory input. And he doesn't hear some of the noises in our house. We're not very quiet while Declan's sleeping, so that's a really great way to make sure that your child can find ways to soothe themselves and be comfortable through that transition. So why do I say 18 months is a cutoff time? This is when your child's speech starts just rapidly developing. They're going to start picking up words left and right from that 12 to 18 months. So if they have a pacifier in their mouth, listen to this. Mama, 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 mama. It doesn't sound like mama, 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 mama. They can't make the adjustment and their sounds will become different because you'll praise them and tell them, yeah, you said mama, but it will not have sounded the right way since the pacifier was in their mouth. So you're limiting their opportunity to babble and learn with new speech and experience and just kind of experiment that speech sound transition. So that 12 to 18 months, you're going to notice your child is just saying everything left and right. They're pointing, saying, I see a door. I see a light, a dog, mom, dad. I want milk. They're going to say all sorts of things, and you want them to say them the correct way and learn how to say them the correct way for the long-term run so that you're not going to end up correcting these sounds later. So I highly recommend following these guidelines. If you have questions, always comment down below. I am more than happy to help, provide any additional advice and support. I hope you guys subscribe. I'm always putting up new videos to try to help you with your growing child. Bye, guys.